This is our second Twitter space that we've done. I want to thank you guys for joining the conversation with us here today. Um, Today's a big day for us. So we actually just about an hour ago launched our MVP closed access testnet, and yeah, we're really excited to see the feedback that we get. It's really exciting for us. We do know that we have a couple issues. We just recently identified that there is some type of bug or issue with the subgraph, which is essentially causing the APY and interest rates to show as zero. But we're going to get our dev team to take a look at that, and hopefully we can get that fixed soon. So, additionally, the whitelisted emails. So if you were a staker that filled out the form, or were one of the ambassadors, then you're going to be able to access it with your email address. And pretty much if you aren't certain if that email is correct, when you put it into the form and you don't receive a code back, then you're going to know that that wasn't actually a correct whitelisted email. So, yeah, take a look at that, and I hope to get some feedback. Additionally, the test tokens that were sent out were sent to all of the stakers who applied on that form. If you were an ambassador, we actually weren't able to send you any test tokens at this time. So there's a couple different issues possibly with that. Ethereum is actually phasing out the Rinkeby testnet, so we're going to have to kind of find a solution for either possibly moving it to a different testnet, or working on a solution to get more tokens out to the ambassadors who applied for the testnet. So regardless, you'll be able to navigate on the screen and take a look at the user interface. So yeah, so that's it for the testnet. We are still looking through the ambassadors list, and we should have some more updates on that next week with some more details of who's going to be included, and essentially what kind of tasks are going to be needed and required. So I would expect something next week to come out about that. Additionally, for the Discord admins, we're going to be reaching out to them directly this next week. So that'll take a little bit longer to sort out, but we'll get that process started pretty soon too. So that's all that I had for the updates as of right now. I don't know, Dennis, if you had anything else to add.
Let's see. We have a couple of updates in terms of partnerships. We actually just got off the phone before having this space with one of our new potential partners. So we're drafting up the MOU. That's basically one of the partners that are going to be joining us in the NFT DeFi consortium, which is an effort pioneered by Paribus to sort of standardize NFT valuations and sort of bridge the gap between NFTs and DeFi in general. So it should actually help all NFT projects, all DeFi projects in the crypto ecosystem, cryptocurrency or Web3 world, not just Paribus. So that's an initiative that we're taking. It's going well so far. We already had one confirmed partner, which is a higher education institution, which we mentioned about a month and a half ago, I think, first. So this will be the second partner joining us, and then we'll chase the third partner. With that, there will be 4 members, including Paribus, of course. And the valuations will be the knowledge and sort of experiences will be shared amongst the members to make things smoother for future platforms and Paribus, so that it can go beyond what its initial scope is, which is to offer loans against NFTs. But we have a few more ideas on how we can even leverage NFTs further. So with this effort, I think with time we're going to see a few more use cases on Paribus itself. So that's one of the bigger updates, I guess. The second update from my side is the staking model that we've been working on. So the staking model is nearly done. This is the staking model on Milkomeda, essentially Cardano. We want to, of course, maximize engagement with the community rather than just sort of allowing you guys to lock up your token and then get some tokens in return. That's not the way we want to do it. We want to be making it as engaging as possible. So the fine details are being put together, and you should hear of this new staking model in the next 3 to 4 weeks with finalized details and in terms of tiers, what each tier gives you, how it would work, and hopefully this should be welcomed by the community as it's quite beneficial for Paribus in general and, of course, tokenomics in general as well. I think those are the two big things that I wanted to mention, Wilson. I don't really have a lot. We've just been sort of heads down. Everybody knows what the market conditions are like at the moment, so there really isn't much to discuss on that side. It is what it is. We're just keeping our heads down, building, and we will see the light end of the tunnel as we have in the previous cycles.
Yep, beautiful. Exactly. So, we're just kind of doing our thing still. Our development team has been working really hard, and you have a lot of exciting things coming up in the pipeline. So, we're trying to focus on what we're doing with the building and preparing for when things are a little bit better market wise. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us here. I don't have any other things to bring up, so anyone who has a question can go ahead.
Yes. Hello. Thank you for holding this space. I just have a question in terms of user experience and that type of thing when it comes to lending or borrowing, more so. So traditionally, when you need to take out a loan at a bank or open a line of credit, let's say it's a loan, for example, you need the money then. Currently in DeFi, there's no outside a lending pond. There's no real instant NFT loan. So I'm curious if your platform is going to be similar to NFT Pond, where we have to wait for kind of a deal to be made, or will the loan be directly with the protocol where we loan the NFT and automatically we get to borrow what we need to borrow? And if that would be that which would more so match the traditional banking model of taking out loans, which are usually for immediate needs, not for you don't open a loan hoping you need something later. It's usually for right away, which is why I don't think lending pond really fits the bill. But that's my question.
Yeah, so this is one of our actually USPs. So we're very different in comparison to other platforms like the one you mentioned. It's not P2P, so there isn't a process where you wait for a deal to come through, somebody accepts your NFT as a collateral. This is also why we're taking longer than why we should have taken for allowing NFTs to be used as a collateral, because we're building AI-based valuation service for NFTs. So the AI will continuously consume data and give you a valuation automatically. And as long as there's available liquidity, which matches what you want to borrow in, let's say USDC or USDT or even ADA itself, then the system will actually release the loan automatically and take your NFT as a collateral without any questions. So yeah, it's a much more scalable solution, and I agree that it's much more sort of closer to traditional banks offer it. So yeah, that's one of our USPs, and that's why we're taking it one step at a time. So when we released NFT collateral, because it's AI based and there are error rates in that, the valuations could be off by, let's say, 10%, 20%, or maybe 30% sometimes. So we know that this is going to happen until the model sort of matures and learns from the data it's congested. So based on that, we actually want to do loan to values. We want to start it quite low, so you could borrow up to maybe, let's say, 30 or 40% of the NFT value that we give you, just so that the system has buffer, when the error rates are quite high. But as with time and as with more loans are generated, more data is consumed, it becomes more accurate. And with that accuracy, we can actually increase the loan to value percentage from, let's say, 30% in the first 2-3 months, hoping that we generate a lot of loans, to, let's say, 60-70%. And over time, with some maturity in the crypto space, of course, given how volatile things are, we can maybe push it up to 80%. So yeah, that's definitely one of our USPs, and that's how we're sort of taking this step by step.
Very, very nice. And these loans, would they be in similar to the other protocol in terms of a payback schedule? Would there be a time frame that the loan needs to be repaid in, or would there just be like an interest that just continues, or what's the process?
There's no set time, so it's up to the lender, it's up to the borrower to pay back whenever they wish. But there is a dynamic interest rate depending on sort of the utilization percentage of the underlying liquidity pool that you borrowed from. So as more money is outflown from the crypto from the platform and liquidity gets less, we increase. Well, we don't, but the code increases the interest rate to a higher percentage, so it incentivizes borrowers to pay back quicker. And of course, it works in other ways also. Lenders actually get to earn a little bit more during these peak times. So yeah, it's a dynamic interest rate, and there is no fixed time frame where you have to pay back, as long as you're happy to pay back the money plus the interest.
Got it. Thank you. Very excited.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey, Nicola.
Hey.
First of all, I wanna say congrats to all of us for coming this way and seeing this. I'm just in front of my PC and looking this MVP test. I didn't see any tokens, and you said something in the beginning that we will have tokens after, or
I think Simon is working on it, Wilson, right now to send some test tokens, right?
Yes, they should be receiving tokens pretty soon, if not already. But yeah, Simon went ahead and sent out all the test tokens to the people who applied, who were stakers. Like I said, the ambassadors weren't able to receive any test tokens as of right now, but we're still working on a fix for those on that side of things. So yeah, hopefully that should come to you really soon.
Okay, super. And we're gonna receive emails about ambassadors and the contracts, or how we're gonna do that?
Yeah, so that's something that's going to be coming next week. We actually got a lot of interest within the program itself, so we need to kind of narrow it down a little bit and start to figure out who's going to be included with the ambassadors. But that's something that is going to be coming out next week for sure.
When the project will launch on Cardano network? So
Cardano network, we will launch on Cardano through the sidechain Milkomeda. I know IOG recently announced a sidechain as well. We'll check that out. But regardless, we'll be on Milkomeda as soon as there is a price oracle that we can use. So that's our only dependency at this moment.
Thanks.
You remind me of a very important update. We've had started discussions with Nomad and Connects to bridge over PBX to Cardano. So it's still ongoing. So there are technical integrations that are ongoing. You will hear more of this in the next week or next couple of weeks. But soon we should be able to bridge over PBX to both Milkomeda and Cardano native chain as well. So yeah, that's one big news that I wanted to sort of give an insider share to our community members. But we will actually do a proper marketing push on this once we have a date in our hand from our third-party partners.
But when bridging, we're not gonna change PBX token, so it's gonna be the same token, just bridging to the Milkomeda, or we need to transfer our tokens and get the new ones.
So it's
I don't know that.
It's a two-way bridge, so it means you don't need to do anything in terms of destroying your current tokens. So the way the two-way bridges work is that let's say you're going from Ethereum to Milk Emitter, you actually lock up your Ethereum-based token into one of these escrow contracts that let's say Nomad controls, and Nomad will release the equivalent amount on whatever your target destination chain is. So you don't need to do any burn-in or anything to your existing token. It will just work out the box, and you should be able to trade the token on, like, let's say, Sunday swap.
Okay, super. And yeah, the guy cut me off. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done, and this last blog that you posted puts a lot of faith again, of course. You said in the blog that you have like funds for next 2 years, and we don't have any problems. Hopefully the market will go up eventually. It must go up. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep investing, and soon make a YouTube channel so we can go on YouTube, and yeah, we'll see from there. But thank you guys.
Appreciate the support as always, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. Appreciate you.
Just a word of advice though, don't stretch yourself too thin. I mean, we're in a volatile market. Yeah, we're working, our heads are down, but you know how the market behaves. So I just don't want anyone to be sort of burnt beyond their extent.
Roger that.
Any other questions? Anyone curious about anything Paribus or non-Paribus related? We're open to sort of just discussions in general, really, at this point.
I would like to ask you something about if we putting the tokens to get some interest from you. The argent will end in 8 days, and then we'll have the last one. After the last one ends, do you have anything forecast for us to get some tokens staked?
Not so. This was what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about VPBX. We do have a staking model / governance model, I guess, coming soon. You will hear of the details in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
But yes, there will be an alternative, but it's not going to be like the one that we all utilizing right now, because it would require engagement, maybe on a monthly basis, maybe on a weekly basis, but it will require engagement so that your rewards are eligible for claiming. But yeah, we will have a model.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I have a question regarding our official YouTube channel, Paribus. There's only been a couple of videos. Is anything new coming up? And will we have a video about this Paribus MVP testnet? So how we can use, because I'm looking, this is like a completely new world for me. It looks nice, but I just want to know what I'm doing on this side. Is going to be some YouTube channel or something?
Yeah, exactly. So we only have a couple of videos right now on the Paribus YouTube channel. We're actually working with our designer right now to get a couple more educational videos up and going on that front. But they just take time. It's a whole animation and voiceovers and everything that is needed for that. And we've been pretty busy with everything for the testnet side of things. But yes, to your point, actually, we do intend to have what is going to be like a tutorial for the testnet, or actually for the MVP, and that's going to help people navigate the system. We'll have someone who is known within the space actually go ahead and test it and film it and kind of give our audience a little bit of information about how to best use it, what some of the things mean, and that's going to be something that we can have our community look at if they have any questions in particular, because we know that people have different levels of understanding of DeFi, and depending on what they've used in the past. So we want to make sure that we reach everyone who may be super new to DeFi. So we definitely have that in the works.
Awesome. And from going from a testnet to a live net, we're gonna need some estimated time, like 1 month, 2 months, or even more, or even less. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely something that we will be looking at to kind of see when the protocol is in a place where we're going to be able to, be very confident in everything. Even just today, some of the little issues that happened, we wouldn't want that to be an issue when we're launching on the mainnet. Also, the markets are really rough to launch anything currently. So, we're in a time where we can really hone in what we're doing with our platform, and we'll give as much leeway, much time as possible to let people know that we have a date in place, but that's still to be decided.
Okay. And how is it in the system if there's a lot of borrowers and there's not a lot of lenders? How the system will work? If you have
So
like 100 borrowers and you have like 20 lenders only, what's going on?
so the promise behind this whole system and the way it should work in theory, well, that's how it works in other DeFi platforms as well, is that when the borrowers outweigh the lenders, that's when interest rate kicks in. So we have a hike of interest rate in our protocol, for example, and the more people borrow, the higher the interest rate goes, and that's a massive incentive for people with liquidity that are just sitting on the sideline. If they see that the interest rate is quite high, it's in their best interest to deposit the funds so that they can start earning some of that interest. And as more people come in with the same incentive, then the system sort of finds a balance and the interest rate starts going back down. And yeah, that's just a positive feedback cycle that should just keep leveling itself out, because everybody wants to make money, and especially in bull markets, everybody needs liquidity. So with those balances and with those parameters, things finds its balance.
Okay, so the balance is here. That's the important thing. Okay, and I know that we not talking about that since the beginning of Paribus, but is there any new exchange office? I've tried to contact a lot of them, but I haven't received any response on my email. So I wanted to ask, to make some conversation about adding the PBX on a different text, but nothing for now. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah.
So, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Liz.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, pretty much it's just it's all these things have to be negotiated in their own time. We can't really speak on anything until it's actually released, because they have some very strict types of documents that we need to sign whenever we start these conversations. But yeah, like I would say, pretty much it's just one of those things where as soon as a lot of these really high top tier exchanges, they want to see some type of product working. So being that we just released our testnet, that is going to be definitely a good step in the right direction for having some leverage when we're negotiating with these exchanges to get our platform and token actually on their exchange. So we're going in the right direction, but these things definitely take time, and there's a lot of costs involved as well. So we're working as much as we can to get that, but we can't really speak on anything in particular.
Just to add a little piece onto that, we actually intentionally delayed a exchange right now. About 2 weeks ago, we delayed one. We delayed based on what Wilson has just basically said. The current market conditions, we don't think it's the right time to start listing PBX somewhere else. And on top of that, we have to manage our costs. We have to preserve as much cash as possible so that we have enough of a runway to build the entire product. So yeah, with time and with market conditions, you will hear more of exchanges as they come along.
Super. And the PBX token, we gonna hit like 8 billion in the next, I don't know, it's maybe 10 years, 20 years, or even more. We're not gonna hit 8 billion soon enough. Yeah, I hope so. I don't know that I read some tokenomics, but I just want to hear from you.
Yeah, majority of the tokens are actually part of the treasury, and that's reserved for platform growth. So if you look at tokenomics, I think the vast majority is put in a contract right now that is locked. So you won't see billions of token flood in the market, especially not in current market. But we won't hit our total supply. I don't know. I could say probably like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, okay, super. So 4 or 5 years. Okay, super. That's all from me. Yeah, I'm gonna give someone else a chance.
Any other questions about what we're doing or anything about the market in general?
I was actually talking to myself, wasn't sorry. I was saying, do you want to mention at a high level the work that we started with the plots that we bought in Pavia?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I think it was about maybe 2 or 3 months ago that we announced that we're going to be doing virtual headquarters in Pavia. And that was, received really well by the community. We actually just started some negotiations with a designer to get the actual, architecture built out for that plot. And I'm personally really excited to see where this goes. It's going to be we're trying to think about the use cases for it and how it can integrate into, possibly if we have like an NFT at some point, if we can use that for special access purposes. So, we are pretty much in the initial stages, but we have some things starting to come together with the development of the actual design and architecture of what the headquarters is going to look like. So, we'll get some updates as soon as we get a little bit more concrete with that, but it's really exciting stuff.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else that I can think of that's important for this call that I can announce. Just keep up with the announcement channels on Telegram. We're always around. We do provide regular updates, of course. But yeah, if we don't have any other questions, I guess we can wrap it up early. And stay safe and think long term. Obviously not financial advice, but yeah. Take care, everyone.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Take care.
Take care. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.